Greg here. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'm really grateful that you do. I'm going to talk about one of the symptoms of dementia today, and the one that I'm going to talk about is hallucinations. Not everybody with a dementia gets hallucinations. It's one of the more unusual symptoms that people can exhibit when they have a dementia. And a hallucination, and they can be auditory or visual, so there can be a sound hallucination or a visual hallucination, but it's seeing something or hearing something that isn't actually there. So it's only how their brain is functioning that's making them believe that something is happening, something in front of them that isn't actually real. Now, one of the common ones, particularly with Lewy body dementia, is people see animals, and often animals that are quite poorly or in a distressed state. But the animal hallucination is quite common, and that they see animals that are just not there. I've also had people who hallucinate loved ones who are long since passed. And actually they're not distressing, because suddenly they're reunited with this really loved family member that they haven't seen in a long time, and that person isn't there because they've passed away. So it's about the visualization of something that isn't real, that it isn't there. And as far as visual hallucinations go, people can commonly hear music, and whilst in part of the day that's quite lovely, but when you're trying to go to sleep and someone's playing piano and they won't stop, that can be really distressing. So no matter what you do, no matter where you go, you can't get away from this sound that's constantly there. Visual hallucinations, and particularly auditory hallucinations, which are even rarer than visual hallucinations, can be very distressing if people experience them, because with the auditory hallucinations, they're hearing something. They could be hearing a voice, they could be hearing a sound, it could be something like a horn blaring. Commonly it is music, but it could be any sound, but it's a sound that isn't there, it's not real, and so everyone else around them isn't seeing this or isn't hearing this, and therefore they don't really understand what that person is experiencing, because they can't see or hear it, and to everyone else it's not real. To that person it's absolutely real. As far as they're concerned, they're seeing something right in front of them, or they're hearing something, and absolutely to that person it's real, because that's genuinely what they either see or hear, and so there's a disconnect from the world in which they're living, because you've got one person who lives in a world where there's animals in front of them, or they're hearing piano music, and everyone else around them doesn't see those animals or doesn't hear that piano music, and so there is a real disconnect then, and when those either auditory or visual hallucinations are very distressing, people can get really upset about them, because they're seeing or hearing something very, very, very distressing, but they're living in a world where everyone else doesn't seem to understand. So it's quite an isolating, quite a lonely place to be when that's happening. And so when they feel better, then sometimes they can rationalise that what happens later on is a hallucination, but at the time they're experiencing it, this is real to them, even if it isn't real to everyone else. So I hope that's useful, and I hope you understand a little bit more about hallucinations. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye for now. Take care.